Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Okay, so I was just waiting for others to join. Am I audible to everybody? Hello, am I audible? Okay, what about others? अम्लाना बंद करिए. Wait. Okay, Sarita, I'm audible. What about Dijesh and Kelvin? Can you hear me? Dijesh is saying yes. Okay, what about Kelvin? Kelvin, can you hear me? Okay, so let us just start. So today we are going to discuss about company. Okay, so in a nutshell, I can just tell you that company means any company. It can be a government company, that is a public company, or it can be a private company as well. So company is an artificial person. It is something. Good evening, Kelvin. Can you hear me? It is something which has a separate legal, it is a separate legal entity. It is something that has an identity of its own, and it is treated like a person. It is given all the rights and the privileges which are given to a person under a law. So similarly, a company also holds those rights and responsibilities, and it is like it is governed by the Companies Act. Okay, it is registered under Companies Act. So the rules and regulations which are going to govern a company are mentioned in that particular act only. Alright, so you can see what is a company. It is an artificial person created by law. It is a voluntary association of individuals for profit. Okay, it is an artificial person created by law. If like in case I am a part of the company, I am a shareholder and I am a part of that company. So in that case, if anything goes wrong, I will not be held responsible, but the company as a person will be held responsible. Okay, but since company is just an artificial being, so how can it be like taken for trial in the court, or how can it be taken for other proceedings? That we can see later. Is it clear to everybody so far, the thing? Okay. So as per the Act, according to section 3(1) of the Companies Act, a company means a company formed and registered under this Act or an existing company. So by the law or by the Act, the definition is very simple. It just means a company which is registered under the Companies Act 1956. So now there are different types of companies. Depending on the structure and their method of formation, the companies may be classified into different categories. So it can be an incorporated or a unincorporated company. It can be a chartered company, statutory company, or a registered company. Then further, it could be a company limited by shares, or a company limited by guarantee, or an unlimited company. Then these can further be public-private or public-private. Okay. So now we are going to see each of them in detail, one by one. We are going to take them and we will discuss. Is that clear? Am I audible to everybody properly? All right. Okay, so the first type of a company is an incorporated company. So what is an incorporated company? These are the association of persons who contribute money to a common stock known as the capital of the company. They have existence independent of its members. Okay. So like this is formal type of a company, we can say that. It is formal company, and opposite to that is a unincorporated company. It is an informal company. Okay. Over here the people just agree to join in a partnership, and that is generally it may be in the case of already existing business. It may or may be a new venture, or it can be a existing business only. Okay. Like you might have seen at times that the partnership firms get converted into sometimes the partnership firms get converted into companies. So that is an example of this unincorporated company. Okay. So that is the meaning of these companies by definition. So we can just say that incorporated company is under the law, it is a formal one, and unincorporated is less formal by nature. Then next is the chartered company. Now charter means a special act or a special privilege. So these type of companies were very much prevalent at the time when I'm talking with reference to India. So these companies were prevalent at a time when India was under the control of Britishers. Okay, so like a special charter was granted to certain companies and they operated under those rules and regulations. I am not very sure about Middle East, Sriraj, because I don't know the history of Middle East. But yes, if definitely this charter form of company exists there, then it has to be this type only. Charter means like a special privilege that has been passed under a law, special case, special class. So yes, I'm very sure that there must be chartered companies in UAE also, because UAE is already, like Dubai is already under the control of a king. There's a ruler. So definitely there must be certain companies which are of that nature. So like the crown in the exercise of the royal prerogative has power to create a corporation by the grant of a charter to persons assenting to be incorporated. Such companies or corporations are known as chartered companies. In simple words, it is a company which is formed under a special charter of the government. Special East India Company is an example of a charter company. Yes, it was the like official company which under the aegis of which the Britishers came to India with the perspective of trading, and slowly they captured the whole of India. They became the rulers. Okay. So I guess you all must have studied about that in history in junior classes. You all, how many of you are from India? Means you have done schooling from India. Yeah. Okay. So you must have studied this. Yes, it is still there. Sriraj, it is still there. So going next are the statutory companies. So statutory means anything that is under the law. So a company may be incorporated by means of a special act of the parliament or any state legislature. So such companies are called statutory companies. So there is a hairline difference between the two, chartered and statutory. Statutory is under the like it is incorporated under the special act of the parliament, because parliament is there in every nation, parliament or state legislature, and these chartered companies are a foregone story, we can say. Now they are not there except for the countries which are still ruled by like royal people. But with reference to India, chartered companies are no longer there, because now there is no rule of that kind. So present scenario, they are known as statutory companies. So such companies are called statutory companies. They are generally formed to carry out some special public undertakings like railways, waterways, gas, electric generation. So they are governed by the acts creating them. So they are the companies which are under the control of the government, we can say, and they are generally for public works. They are into the business of providing the infrastructural help in the economy, like railways, waterways, gas agencies, electricity. These are all statutory companies. But now there has been some modification. Now this electricity sector, it has gone to some of the private companies as well, and like that is in case of many of the um, cities, especially Delhi. Yeah, gas also. Now the next is a registered company. So registered company is the company about which we talk about in general terms. Okay, when we say company, we mean a registered company. These are the companies which are registered under the Companies Act 1956. So they came into existence when they are registered under the Companies Act, and a certificate of incorporation is granted to them by the registrar. So this is the formal type of a company which we talk about. Company in India generally means a registered company. Now a company registered under the Act may be different type. This is we can say a bifurcation of these different classes of the company. And now let us see that. Now what are the companies limited by shares? These are the companies in which the liability of their members, or we can say their owners, it is limited to the extent of the amount of shares held by them. Okay, like suppose a person is on the board of directors of a company. No, or rather, if a person is a shareholder of the company, he is having 10 shares of the company, and he is like the total value of one share is 10 rupees, and 9 rupees on each share has been paid. Okay, 9 rupees on each share has been paid. So for 10 that makes it 90. So, and he was supposed to pay 100 rupees, 10 shares at the rate of 10 each, 10 tens are 100. So he has paid 90. So he is yet to pay 10 rupees. In case company goes bankrupt, or in case the company is dissolved, so in that case, that particular person will be required to contribute rupees 10 towards that head. Okay, nothing more than his remaining liability he will be liable to pay. Understood? Did you understand? Okay. Now companies limited by guarantee. Now they are also registered by nature, and it can be a public or a private company. Public means, what is a public company and what is a private company? Can you tell me what is a public company? A public, okay, Prabha is writing something. Public and private. Public means the company, private company with ownerships. Yes, Prabha, that is right to some extent. And we can say a public company is the one in which there is a holding of the government. Okay? And private, there is no government holding. Yes, more than 50% shares are owned by the government. Yes, Rahul, that's correct. Yeah, ownership is also with the government only, because 50% shares are with them, more than 50 in fact. So, in this case, in these type of companies, if the company is limited by guarantee, the liability is limited only to the extent of the, like it is pre-decided. The members, they pre-decide the limit of their guarantee. If like they have agreed, or we can say they agreed to pay a limited amount in the case of any mishappening. Okay, this is pre-decided. It's not at that 11th hour that it will be decided. It is already decided. Okay. Now the reverse of this is unlimited company. It is the one in which in case of any mishappening, the members will be required to pay unlimited amount as their contribution. Okay, if suppose like company is a defaulter of 1 crore and there are 10 lakh members of the company, then each member will be required to contribute equally for that 1 crore. Now what is the benefit of having such a company or investing in such a company? The benefit is that such companies have a huge turnover. Their share in the profits is great then. Now next is a private company. Now what is a private company? It is a company which has a minimum paid up capital of 1 lakh rupees or such a higher amount as may be prescribed by the government. Okay, means minimum paid up capital. Paid up capital means the capital money that has been called and that has been paid by the people. So minimum of 1 lakh rupees should be paid by the people. And then it has a minimum of 2 and maximum of members excluding employees. Okay, means minimum of 2 and maximum 50 members. It is missing, 50 is missing over here. It restricts the rights of the members to transfer his shares. Okay, the members are not allowed to transfer the shares. Once the share has been issued, it will continue to be in the name of that particular person only till the lifetime of the company. It cannot be transferred. Then it prohibits any invitation to the general public to subscribe for its shares or debentures. This is the difference between a private and a public company. The issue is not open for the general public. It is not issued. It is, in this case, the capital has to be contributed by the members only. Members means the founding members. They will have to contribute the capital to start the company. Like the examples are these: Ambika Industries, Paris Pharmaceuticals, etc. These are private companies, and there are many more. Okay. Any doubts, anyone? E-point does not invite the public to subscribe to its deposits. Yeah, I mean deposits are like, yeah, Sriraj, that 50 is missing. I told na, like it should be maximum of 50 members. 50 is missing in this line. Yeah, Prabha, that means it does not invite the public to subscribe to its deposits. That means like the deposits, the companies, they offer their deposits as well. If it's a good profit earning company, it may issue its securities. Okay, not shares, securities and all it can issue. But the general public is not allowed to subscribe to it if it's a private company. Okay, the next is a public company. Public company is very easy to understand. It is a company which is owned by majority of the majority of the shares are with the government. Government has a greater saying in such companies. Minimum it should be 50-50. It can be much more than that. Okay. So it is a company that is not a private company, and it has a minimum paid up capital of 5 lakh rupees or such higher amount as will be prescribed by the government. In case of private company it was 1 lakh, and in case of a public company it is 5 lakhs. Examples are Reliance, Tata and DCM, etc. Now these public companies, they are also divided into further subdivisions. The first one is a government company. What is a government company? It is a company in which at least 51% or more of the equity share capital is held by the government, and rest of the shares can be held by the private individuals or businessmen. There is no holding of 50% in Reliance by government. Sriraj, that is a public company. It is not a government company. Okay, there is a difference between public and a government company. Public company, we can say, in simple words, we can say a company that is not a private company is a public company. And then if we have to rate it as a government company, then it could be a company only having 51% or more of its share with the government. Okay. Then foreign companies are those which have their head office outside the domestic country. Some of the popular MNCs operating in India are Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, Sony, Japan. There are many more. Okay. This is with reference to India. So they are basically MNCs, the multinational corporations that we see today. Yeah, ONGC. Indian, HP. Then let us see the difference. Yeah, Bharat Petroleum. So we can see the difference between a partnership firm and a company. It's like we have done Partnership Act long time back, if you remember. Very, very long time back we have done that. One minute, I am drinking water. Just a minute. Okay. Now Sriraj has written something. 2 or more up to 10 partners in case of financial business. Yeah, minimum of 2 and maximum of 20. Okay. So like this is the difference, the basic difference. The governing act is mentioned. Then the next is partnership firm, minimum of 2. In case of private company also 2, and maximum could be 50. In case of a partnership firm, for ordinary it could be 10. It could, for ordinary business it could be 20, and 10 in case of a banking business. Yes, Sriraj, that was absolutely correct. Then if it's a public company, there should be minimum of 7 members, and for maximum there is no limit. Okay, the maximum is unlimited in case of a public company. Then partnership firm is not a separate legal entity from its partners, and company is a separate legal entity from its members. We have discussed that. It is registered under a Companies Act. We have done that. Now management, in case of partnership firm, all the partners are entitled to participate. Okay, and in case of a company, only the members of the board of directors are entitled to manage. We have it's not that the ownership and the management will be the same. It may or may not be the same. Some people may be same, but others people may be different. In partnership, the interest cannot be transferred without the consent of all partners. Like if one partner wants to leave the firm and he wants to nominate another person, he can do so, but only with the consent of other partners. And in case of a company, the interest is freely transferable. You can transfer your interest in the company. Interest in the company may be in any form. It can be a say in the management, or it can be anything. So that is, yes Prabha, there is a limitation in partnership firm. We did it. It is 20 again. Okay. Now partnership, the financial resources are limited. In case of a company, they are very large. If it's a private company, it's still limited, but if it's a public company, it is unlimited. Now winding up, partnership can be dissolved at will without any legal formalities, but for a company, a lot of legal formalities need to be undertaken before the winding up of the company, and it should be done in accordance with the law. It can be done actually. Okay, so this brings us to the end of this. Now we go to the second part of it, that is the formation of companies. How are the companies formed actually? The steps and the documents that are needed, that we are going to discuss. Okay, so we start with the stages, but let us just discuss what is a company, because some of the students were not there when we started the topic. So I'll just repeat what is a company. A company comes into existence when a group of people come together with a view of forming an association to exploit the business opportunities by bringing together men, material, money and management. Okay, this is just the basic understanding of a company. And in simple terms, we say company is anything that is registered under the Companies Act 1956. Now, this is important. What are the stages in the formation of a company? The different stages. Yeah. So it is, first is the promotion stage, selection of name, then incorporation, and then raising the share capital stage. Once the share capital is raised, then the company starts its operations and then it functions as a full-fledged company. Okay, so these are the four and the most important stages. The first is the promotion stage. Now what is this promotion stage? Promotion stage is like preparing the blueprint. Alright? It's like preparing the blueprint of the company. Yeah, planning, budgeting, everything. So the first step is the discovery of business opportunities. It's like just in the mind of the people, the mind of the promoters, the people who are ready to initiate it. They are termed as promoters. So it is just in their mind. The idea just strikes them. Then there is a detailed investigation as to what is to be done next. Is it feasible or not? What could be, how would be the setup like, how much budgeting is needed and everything. Then assembling the necessary requirements. It is the same. Talking with the banks for loan, finding a suitable place, finding a suitable line of venture, then thinking about the board of directors, the management, everything. The next is financing of proposition. So this involves raising how the money will be raised. Like what will be the total capital of the company, how much will be called in the first instance, and what will be the paid up amount, everything. That all is discussed in detail in this step. Then selecting the company name. This is important. So to be identified for legal and business purpose, that is limited or private limited, the name should be similar to the should not be similar to the existing one. Okay, like it will be Sharma and Sons Private Limited. So what happens is, this is normally in the case of a joint Hindu family business. The business is continuously growing and the members are joining, like generations after generations, people are coming in and joining the business. So initially it could be just Sharma Sons. No, it could be just Sharma and Company. And once there is a generation change and new people come up, then it could become Sharma and Sons. Okay. Then incorporation stage. A company is said to be incorporated when it fulfills the formalities of registration and obtain a certificate of incorporation by submitting the MOA and AOA. Now what is this MOA and AOA? It is okay, some people are writing, it means the answer is known to many. It is Memorandum of Association and Articles of Association. Okay, so these are the official documents which a company is needed to submit to ensure its incorporation. Once there is a registrar of the company. Once the registrar of the company goes through MOA and AOA and he is satisfied, then only he is going to give his consent for the incorporation of the company, and then only he will issue the certificate of incorporation. Then a public to commence business should raise the required capital and obtain the certificate of commencement of business. If it's just a company, if it's just a private company, then it could start after getting the certificate of incorporation. Now when will this certificate of incorporation be given? How will it be given? What will happen? Firstly, the blueprint of the company will go to the registrar of the companies. All the details will be submitted with them. They are going to analyze it, and then some investigations will be carried out as to the site of the business, where the company is located. The address should not be fake. There should be a registered address of the company. Investigation will be done. Then investigation will be done regarding the name of the company, everything. It should not be similar to any other existing company. Then after being satisfied with all these things, the certificate of incorporation is granted to the company, and along with MOA and AOA, that has to be submitted along with the other documents, memorandum and article of association, and even the consent of all the directors. Yeah, I am ready to associate myself as the director of this company. It is important. If it is not given, then the company is not on. Then if it's a public limited company, if it's a public company, it has to obtain this also, a certificate of commencement of business. This is a sample of that. You can see certificate of incorporation, identity number, year of incorporation. Then I hereby certify that Vishwas Coal Infrastructures India Limited on this day incorporated under the Companies Act. Okay. Then next is certificate of commencement of business. We read in the name, it is a public company, so it has to get this certificate of commencement also. Now raising of the share capital. Now the next big thing after the getting the green signal from the registrar is the raising of the share capital. So it involves various steps: entering onto an agreement with the underwriters, applying to the stock exchange for listing of shares, issue of prospectus inviting public to subscribe, and allotting shares. So this is all that is needed. First you have to enter into an agreement with the underwriters. Now who are underwriters? Underwriters are they are the insurers, we can say. As in the business of insurance, people undertake to reduce the burden of insurance. So similarly, underwriters are like that only. They will do away with the risk involved. Yes, they will do away the risk. Risk can be of any type. It can be of this nature also, as indicated by Ramakrishnan. Like if the shares are not subscribed by the public, from where will the funds come? So they can also do away with this risk. Then next is applying to the stock exchange for the listing of shares. Then issuing, once the shares are listed, only then can a company issue a prospectus inviting the people to subscribe to its shares. Once the people subscribe, then the shares are allotted. Like it's not that everybody who applies gets a share. It is generally by lucky draw only, by the draw system only. If 20 people apply, then out of that maybe just 5 may get the shares. And if it's a big company, if it's a name, if it's a brand, then the chances are even feeble. Okay, last year in Delhi, the Delhi Development Authority, they opened the bid for their, not bid exactly, they opened the openings for their flats, DDA flats. So you know, DDA flats are not so expensive as compared to the private flats. They are very well made, and they are like free from any hassles, very properly registered and everything. So that was opened in the month of August, July and August last year, and there are just 25,000 flats in the whole of Delhi, and the applications which reached were around 20 lakhs. So you can just imagine, out of 20 lakhs, just 25,000 people are going to get. So it's really a very difficult, only when you are extremely lucky you can think of that. Okay, Prabha has asked a question, how is listing done in the stock exchange? That involves a lot of formalities, Prabha. Like same thing, the blueprint will be submitted, all the necessary documents will be submitted, investigations will be done, and once the authorities are satisfied, then only the shares will be listed in the stock exchange. Okay. Now, this person is a very important person in the formation of a company and is known as the promoter. Now, who is a promoter? A promoter is the one who undertakes to form a company with reference to a given object and to set it going who takes the necessary steps to accomplish that purpose. Okay, he is the one who is going to do all the formalities. Like he conceives the idea and he raises the money, everything is done by him, and once the business starts operating, then his role becomes less. So what are the liability of the promoters? The first is they are liable to hand over any secret profits and any personal interest in dealings. Then they are liable to untrue statement in the prospectus. Remuneration to the promoters is if personal skills are involved in promotion. Yeah, it is there. They don't get salary, they don't get that, but they get a huge remuneration. They get a certain percentage of the total value of the company. If suppose the company is valued at 1 crore, then they may get 2%, 3%, anything like that. So their job is demanding, but the remuneration is good. Now what are the documents which a company needs to make? One is Memorandum of Association, Article and Prospectus. Now what are these? The first and the foremost is the Memorandum of Association. So this is, it like contains the fundamental rules regarding the constitution and activities of the company. So it is, we can say it is a charter which defines the reason for the existence of the company. So it lays down the operation of the company, area of operation of the company, and also regulates the external affairs of the company. So it's a very important document. It is like a, we can say it is like a showcase of the company. Then next is the Memorandum of Association, and it is also very important. It is like a window to the company, because it is, we can say it is the document which contains the things in detail. It has got a name clause, the registrar office clause, object clause, capital clause, liability clause, association clause, like everything is clarified in this document. Okay, like what is the object behind the formation of the company, what is the capital, how it will be raised, how it will be like arranged for, everything is mentioned in detail in this Memorandum of Association. So if it's a public limited company, it must be signed by 7 people, and in case of a private company, it must be signed by 2 people. Alright? Are the things clear so far, everybody? Okay. Now the next is the Article of Association. So this Article of Association, it contains the regulations regarding all the matters concerning the internal affairs of the company. That is about like the Memorandum of Association is something like the thing on a broader scale, or with respect to the public in general. Okay, an Article of Association deals with the internal management of the company. So it is a document subsidiary to the Memorandum of Association. Subscribers over here, Sriraj, means the promoters. Okay. In this reference, the subscribers are the promoters. The people who have conceived the idea, and they are going to like take the responsibilities and all. Those are the subscribers here. So then the second document is the Article of Association. This is about the internal management of the company. So it should be printed, divided into paragraphs and serially numbered. Then alteration of AOA is done by passing a special resolution. In case we have to issue any, in case we have to make any changes, that will be done by a resolution. Okay. So what are the contents of that? It is having the division of shares, procedures of holding and conducting the meeting, voting rights of members and the rules regarding the methods of voting, matters relating to the appointment, power, duties, qualification and remuneration, methods to increase or decrease the capital, then rules regarding the common seal of the company. Means they are very much related to the internal affairs, the internal management of the company. Okay. These are the other things which will be a part of this. Can you just read, all of you? Please read it. The general things related to the internal management. Right? Okay. Now next is, the next third important document is the prospectus. So what does prospectus mean? It means any document described or issued as a prospectus inviting deposits from public or inviting offer from public for the subscription or purchase of any shares. It is like a document connecting the company with the general public. It is a document which will give the vision of the company to the public, and the public is invited to subscribe to the shares of the company with the help of this prospectus. Okay. Then if it's a public company, then it can also issue a certificate of lieu of prospectus. Certificate in lieu of prospectus, not of, it should be. So that means the company is not having a formal prospectus, it is having a certificate which is like a prospectus only. But when is this issued? In case the company does not go for public subscription, it has got enough of capital and it is going to use that only. It will not raise money from the people. In that case, it is a certificate in lieu of prospectus. Okay. If it wants money from the public, it will issue a prospectus. Now, what are the contents of the prospectus? Date is there, name and registered office of the company, consent of the central government, then voting rights, dividend, expenses on issues, name of the stock exchange where the shares are registered or listed, then punishment for fictitious application, refund of issue of 90% minimum subscription not received, the names and address of the leading managers. We can just say this is like a window to the company. The details are mentioned in this prospectus. Okay. You can just have a look at this first, then I will go to the next one. Okay, we can go to the next one. This is a continuation to that. You can just read it. We can go to the next one. That is it. This is about this particular topic, about the company. Now there are some other things left out in this. There are other topics, subheadings of this particular topic. We can do it in the next class, hopefully. Okay. Thanks for your time, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the class. Thanks for your time. Take good care of yourself. Have a great week. And see you all on Thursday. I think Friday or Saturday will be the next class. You can you'll just get the link accordingly. Everybody, thanks for your time, and please fill the feedback form which you'll be getting at the end. Bye. Good night. Take care.